please don't cancel me, but I think religious people are a little dumb and that they're lacking some brain cells. And I don't want to think like that. That's the thing. I'm trying to better myself.
I totally understand wanting to better yourself, but insulting other people isn't a good place to start. Self-improvement doesn't require putting others down.
Don't take this as I'm dogging on religious people. I'm not. I'm trying to be a better person.
You just called us dumb and brain cell deficient. How else should we take that?
It's just like, weren't we in the same science class? Like, didn't you guys learn about the Big Bang Theory at the same time I did? I'm not getting it.
Yeah, I was in that science class. In fact, I liked it so much I got a degree in physics and taught about the Big Bang in that science class. And fun fact, the Big Bang Theory was actually proposed by a physicist who was also a Catholic priest, George Lemaitre. Moreover, the Big Bang describes a universe which came into being a finite time ago. This is totally compatible with a creator. After all, a Big Bang needs a Big Banger. So contrary to popular belief, science and faith aren't enemies. In fact, many of history's greatest scientists like Sir Isaac Newton, Johannes Kepler, Francis Bacon, James Clerk Maxwell, Louis Pasteur, and Gregor Mendel were deeply religious people. That's hardly a list of people who were lacking brain cells.
And then like critical thinking emphasizes skepticism and the need for evidence, and faith ignores that. And I don't get it. I don't like it. So
actually, biblical faith doesn't ignore the evidence, it includes the evidence. It's trusting in what you have good reason to believe is true. Jesus didn't say, just believe me because I say so. He said, even if you don't believe me, believe the works, the miracles, that you may know and understand that the Father is in me, John 10:38. In other words, look at the evidence. He didn't ask for blind faith. He gave people reason to trust him. So faith is trust, but trust in something or someone that's trustworthy. That's why the Apostle Paul says, test everything and hold fast to what is good. Christians are called to love God with all their minds. That involves critical thinking.
And then also, aren't there like thousands of different religions?
Yep, there's lots of options. That's why we need critical thinking, to compare them and ask if any matches with reality. So just because there are many religions doesn't mean that none of them are right. It just means we have to do some investigation.
It seems a little daft to think that to know that yours is the correct one and discredit all the others.
Wait a minute. You just said it's daft for a person to believe their worldview is correct and to discredit the others. But isn't that exactly what you're doing to religious people in your video? You believe you're right and religious people are wrong. And how'd you put it?
I think religious people are a little dumb and that they're lacking some brain cells.
In fact, your video is attempting to discredit religious belief as anti-science and anti-critical thinking. Ironically, if we apply a little critical thinking, we can see that you're doing the very thing that you're calling daft. But I don't fault you for making this video. You think you're right and religious people are wrong. Fair enough. Truth by nature is exclusive. For example, if the Big Bang Theory is right, then the theories that contradict it are wrong. In a similar way, if Christianity is right, then the religions that contradict it are wrong. Same if Islam's true or atheism. So the better question isn't how many religions are out there, but which actually makes the most sense of the world. And that's a question worth thinking critically about.
It doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. Can you help?
I mean this with all sincerity. I really hope that this video helps.